Our city's mayor, Alex Nuttall, taking drastic action, declaring a state of emergency, a rare and powerful move.
The city of Barrie, Ontario, just north of Toronto, says it can no longer cope with the opioid crisis and homeless encampments. And today, the mayor took the unprecedented step of declaring a state of emergency.
Declaring a state of emergency, it's one of the strongest powers a city mayor has.
The mayor of Barrie says enough is enough when it comes to encampments.
What we're experiencing in Barrie is not okay.
What's going on in Barrie?
CommonSenseLoonie, that's my tune, bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.
Hey there, all you wonderful people. It's time for another CommonSenseLoonie one-off. We covered crime about a week ago, but now we've got another. Imagine waking up to the news that your quiet city has just declared a full-on state of emergency. Fires, drugs, murders, chaos on the streets. That's exactly what's happening right now in Barrie, Ontario. You know, I had an aunt that lived in Barrie when I was a kid. It was a lovely place. So when I heard this story, my reaction was, oh my God, what's going on in Barrie? But it's not what you think. Let's dive into this wild story.
The Barrie Police Department operates as an arm's-length police service overseeing law enforcement, or the lack thereof, being told by the justice system that it's a waste of time to enforce drug possession or drug use laws. This because often those same judges just mentioned throw the cases out and warn the prosecutors to steer away from such charges. While I support the county's plan to deliver new space and the Heart Hub, we have all simply run out of time. The city of Barrie does not have control over this emergency until now. Today I'm announcing that I've declared a state of emergency in the city of Barrie, as I requested the former administration to do. While we wait for the county's long-term plan to be implemented, the city of Barrie is immediately instituting the state of emergency to reclaim our streets, our boulevards, our parks, our squares, our feeling of safety, and our order.
So, why the state of emergency? According to this Barrie Today article, Mayor Alex Nuttall declared it on September 9th. This was due to homeless encampments that he says are causing major public safety issues. He called it lawlessness and said residents had had enough. There's about 20 encampments around the city, home to roughly about 600 people. These spots have been linked to some seriously scary stuff. Recently, there was even a double homicide at one encampment in Diamonds Creek area, where a guy was arrested for murdering and dismembering 2 victims, all living in the same camp. Police also found weapons like crossbows and a starter pistol there.
Yeah, Sarah, after more than 2 weeks of silence, Barrie police have now charged 52-year-old Robert Ladouceur with 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of second-degree murder. Known as Tattoo Rob on the streets, he is also facing charges of 2 counts of indignity to a dead body, among several firearm and drug-related offenses.
On top of that, there's arson, thefts, public drug use, overdose, and even E. coli contamination in a nearby creek that's 5 times higher than safe levels, polluting a beach. Mayor Nuttall put it bluntly. We've said to the community, if you want help, if you want support, Barrie wants to be the place that helps and supports you. But if what you're doing is living in addictions and living in a tent on the side of the street, creating disorder, this ain't the place for you. He added that the longevity of this disorder and lawlessness, as well as the severity of the crime, pushed him to act, and act now. Under this emergency, the city can form a task force, hire experts, and start cleaning out tents near key spots like parks and waterways, all while offering shelter to those who want it. So what about the people of Barrie? Are they on board? From what we've seen, yeah, a lot of them are supportive. The mayor's talking about how folks are fed up with the mess, garbage everywhere, safety risks, and millions in cleanup costs.
This restaurant owner says their presence has been bad for business.
Mostly family don't want to come here in the business because they are scared for everyone.
Just hours before he spoke to us, vandals backed a vehicle through his front window. Now he says he's closing his business permanently, citing safety.
Local councillors have been raising alarms about how these encampments are hurting the community and putting people at risk. Even some folks who have been through tough times, like a guy recovering from addiction, say public streets aren't the place for tents and that there are programs out there if people want help. Social media is buzzing with posts backing the mayor for finally taking action. It's not unanimous. Some advocates for homeless say this might be too harsh and we need to focus on building housing. But overall, it seems like Barrie residents are rallying behind the idea of reclaiming their public spaces. Okay, here's where things get a little misleading about all of this drama. You might think Barrie's turning into some crime hotspot, right? Wrong. Barrie is actually one of the safest cities in Canada. Yeah, you heard that right. one of the safest cities in Canada. Despite the headlines, the stats tell a very different story. Let's break it down with some real numbers from Stats Canada for 2023 to 2024. They use something called the Crime Severity Index, or CSI. This measures how bad crime is. Not just how much, but how serious. The national average is around 73 to 80. Remember that, folks. Canada's average CSI is 73 to 80. Out of 32 major Canadian cities with over 50,000 people, Barrie ranks 30th. That means number 1 is the worst crime, going to the least crime at number 32. And that means only 2 cities have less crime than Barrie. Trois-Rivières in Quebec, with a CSI of about 46.5, and Quebec City at the bottom with 45.7. Barrie CSI is 47.7 to 60.3, way below average. Remember again, the national average, 73 to 80. Barrie's overall crime rate is just 3,907 incidents per 100,000 people. That's the lowest in Ontario and way under the national average of 5,843 incidents. Violent crime? It's dropped year over year. So while there's this spotlight on encampments and a tragic murder, citywide, Barrie's super safe, often called the second safest city in Canada. So then what's Mayor Nuttall talking about? I mean, what's he doing? Well, it seems to me like the mayor is just doing his job. I mean, think about it. If you're already one of the safest spots in Canada and your leader's pushing to make it even better by tackling these specific problems head on, that's a win, right? Mayor Nuttall's a former Conservative MP, and he's using new provincial laws from June 2025 that give cities more power to clear encampments and crack down on public drug use. The province is backing it with $75.5 million for housing and shelters, including hubs for addiction recovery right in Barrie. It's like he's saying, we're not waiting for things to get worse. We're fixing it now. Imagine if more leaders thought like that. Imagine how much better off we'd all be. Now, let's flip the script and look at cities in Canada that really need this kind of bold action. The ones with the most crime. Remember our list of 32 cities? Let's look at the top of the list for the top 5 for crime. These places have CSIs double or even triple the national average, mostly driven by property crimes, drugs, and violence. Number 5, Prince George, British Columbia. CSI 138, almost double the national average. Known for drug and gang troubles with violent crimes like assaults on the rise. Encampments here have led to public complaints about safety in parks and downtown areas.
On August 21st, Prince George RCMP successfully executed the biggest drug bust in the city's history.
In total, nearly 40 kilograms of illicit drugs, including suspected fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine, over 11 kilograms of cannabis, approximately 11 kilograms of an unknown cutting agent, and approximately 120,000 counterfeit cigarettes, and more than $500,000 in cash were located and seized.
Number 4, Kelowna, BC again, at 141.9. There are over 10,000 incidents per 100,000 people. Property theft is huge, and the area is dealing with rising homelessness and opioid overdoses, much like the rest of BC.
The owners of the train station pub here on Ellis Street have had enough. They've launched a petition calling on the province to do more to curb crime and social issues.
It's daily. When you have to spend $100,000 a year just trying to keep your business open, from repairs, cameras, constantly doing it, it takes a toll, and it's hard, and it needs to stop.
Number 3, Red Deer, Alberta, CSI 146.9, high on both violent and property crimes. We're talking assaults and break-ins, and they've had spikes in gang activity and drug-related violence, with encampments adding to the mix.
Red Deer RCMP have arrested 3 individuals after a major drug bust. They seized over $55,000 in cash, 1.1 kg of cocaine, 1.3 kg of methamphetamine, fentanyl, oxycodone tablets, firearms, ammunition, and over 6,000 unstamped cigarettes.
Number 2, Chilliwack, another one in BC, at 156.2 CSI. They've seen a 24% jump in crime severity, with property stuff and issues from homeless camps, like garbage and health risks similar to Barrie's, but way more widespread.
RCMP say it all started when they were called to Knight Road near Chilliwack River Road around 2 p.m. Monday afternoon. Reports came in of a distraught man inside a home who had access to firearms. Several hours later,
At approximately 7:45, shots were allegedly fired towards police at that location. Obviously, that was a very high-risk situation that caused us to alert the residents immediately in the area and to place 16 homes in a shelter-in-place.
And number 1, Kamloops. Guess where? BC, of course. 4 out of the 5 top crime cities are all in BC. Great job, baby. Put that on your resume. Kamloops has a CSI of 165.3. That's sky high, thanks to tons of property crime like break-ins and thefts, plus a big drug problem tied to the opioid crisis. Encampments there have been a headache for years, with fight over park clearances and even court cases.
Kamloops Mounties have confirmed the high-profile police presence at 2 houses on the North Shore this past week are connected to a murder investigation. Police found the body of Dylan Thomas Godfrey in the Shkadown Flats area near Paul Lake back on April 25th and believe he was the victim of foul play. The RCMP have now revealed their presence at a notorious Valhalla Drive townhouse and a raid on a home in the 1100 block of 10th Street are connected to this murder investigation.
These cities are dealing with way bigger problems than Barrie. Higher violence, more drugs, and encampments that have been festering for longer. So, why aren't more cities stepping up and protecting their people like Mayor Nuttall? As of right now, September 10th, no other places have followed suit with their own emergencies. Sure, provinces like BC and Alberta are throwing money at housing and recovery programs, but where's the urgent action? If Kamloops or Winnipeg, another high crime spot with a CSI of over 129 and massive Indigenous homelessness issues, saw what Barrie's doing, you'd think residents would be yelling, "Hey, we're number 1 in crime. Why isn't our government declaring an emergency and cleaning this up?" As noted before, British Columbia under Premier David Eby has the most crime-ridden cities in Canada.
New Statistics Canada data shows BC cities top the list for the country's high crime rate. Kamloops had the highest crime severity index across all of Canada's census metropolitan areas in 2023. Chilliwack had the second highest, Nanaimo the 6th highest crime rate, Kelowna the 7th, and Abbotsford Mission the 10th.
Besides the 4 cities mentioned before, there's also Nanaimo at number 8, Abbotsford at number 11, Vancouver at number 13, and Victoria at number 17. All of these cities have crime rates higher than the national average of Canada. For me, personally, I'm hoping that Barrie's setting an example that others will copy, especially with new laws making it easier. But probably leaders in those spots are too bogged down in their own bureaucracy to act fast. So after digging into all this, I'm seriously considering moving to Barrie. It's got that small city charm, super low crime overall, and a mayor who's proactive about keeping it safe. Yeah, they've got some challenges with encampments, but they're handling it with compassion and firmness, offering help while saying no to disorder. Remember, initially, I, like I'm sure many of you were thinking, oh my God, what's happening to Barrie? By the end of it, it makes you think, oh my God, what's happening in my city? Why can't we have leadership like Barrie? If more places followed this lead, Canada could be a whole lot safer for everyone. What do you think? Time for a road trip to Barrie? Drop your thoughts in the comments. That's it for today. We're just covering Barrie. We'll have more of a full show tomorrow. But thank you for coming by, and if you liked it, please click like, and please click that subscribe. It makes me feel so good because I love making these videos. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and remember, stay strong, stay skeptical, and above all else, stay loony.
I'm here to cut through the haze, no disguise. Gonna open your eyes to politicians' lies. Canada's great, but led by wackos, it's true. Time for no nonsense, me and you. I'm the CommonSenseLoonie, hear my call. Ditch bingo night games, we'll fix it all. CommonSenseLoonie, that's my tune. Bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.